Boom. What a gradient. Wow. I have to find new intro music.
Wow.
That Teletubby portion. I didn't catch that before I just decided to slap it on. But nonetheless, it's different. So that's good.
It's new.
Yeah. Gotta keep things fresh here on the Let's Talk About It podcast. Welcome again, guys. We're coming to you not live for the first time.
Pre-recorded.
Yeah, ever. Well, and it's justified, right? Because our Spotify audience had like 8 listens at least per episode. And then our YouTube video, apparently that's really popular because it has like, 11 views? Is that what it is? Yeah, so, and then how many live viewers have we had the last couple of weeks? Like 0?
Yeah, 0 to 3.
Literally 0. So, that's fine. Especially for like live podcasts. Ow.
New live podcast.
New live podcasts. Maybe, especially for like late afternoon, middle of the week. Maybe a lot of people can't catch it for XYZ reason. So, I don't know. I don't know the excuses. All I know is that we can adapt, we can overcome, and then we just move on. Just try new things. So this is us trying a new thing, pre-recorded podcast. Yeah, so with that said, we are on Anchor FM, which means that you can listen to our podcast on Spotify, iTunes?
Yep, iTunes.
Apple Podcasts. There's another one in there, a really weird one that I can't remember.
Yeah, it has a weird name. I'll see if I can find out what it is. Yeah,
but whatever that weird platform is, and then as well, YouTube. We'll be uploading the whole podcast video on YouTube, so you can see the equalizer bounce up and down to our voices as we, do the podcast thing. But nevertheless, hopefully, the pre-recorded podcast and the publishing will announce it once that is uploaded. That way, everyone can listen to this podcast and future podcasts as well. And hopefully, we can have a more consistent upload with the pre-recorded podcast as well. Because with some streaming, we've had some technical issues where the whole podcast isn't captured. Or it's captured in sections that are hard to splice together. Or, more accurately, I've been too lazy to splice together. Because it definitely can happen, but I just haven't done that.
Plus, it always, if it cuts out, it kind of sucks. It'll just be going about one thing and then just totally change all random.
Yeah, it's not continuous.
So, we are on Google Podcasts, Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Overcast, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, and Spotify.
What the hell is Breaker?
I don't know. I've never heard of it.
It's not like the water park, right? Because that place is shut down, which is sad. I kind of want to go. Actually, now that I want to go there.
I have never been there, to be honest.
Breaker's Water Park. I went there like once when I was maybe 7 years old. I was really young. I was like 7 or 6.
Oof.
And I didn't learn to swim until I was, well in my teen years. So that was actually terrifying, me being a little guy. The big wave pool that they have? Yeah, I thought that was going to swallow me. And, I would never be found again. But, Breaker's Water Park. From what I can remember, not that big of a deal. So, I don't think you missed out on much. And it was expensive.
Really?
From what I heard, yeah. At least that's what my parents tell me, but they told me everything was expensive growing up. So, I don't know. And I never will know. So, that's it. But anyway, enough about water parks and enough about podcast platforms that we never heard about. Let's jump straight into our stories today. We got some coronavirus stories to share.
Yep.
We got some thoughts on some free to play games that we mentioned last week. Some news about an exciting hotel that everyone in our friend group is going to be super excited to go to. I know I'm excited. I'm going to do my best to save up some cash so that as soon as reservations go up, I can grab a room.
Yeah, because you're going to have to act fast for sure.
Yeah, probably like Coachella levels of fast. But anyway, we will go into that discussion here. But as always, we will jump headfirst into the tech news. Again, tech news, a little slow. That's how it is after CES in the beginning of the year. Every major announcement and every major release is usually saved for summertime. sometimes we'll get some cool like TV/panel news in the beginning of the year, so that there's cool TV tech to sell for Super Bowl time. But that's not the case this year, unfortunately. And I don't really care about panel display technology either. So sorry guys, if you want to learn more about that, then you're just gonna have to Google it. But anyway, the lowdown on a lot of tech news right now is actually a lot of tech companies are actually being forced to shut down right now because of the coronavirus. Lots of tech manufacturing in China has shut down, or offices of tech companies, to prevent the corona outbreak from spreading even worse in China. Companies like Tesla, their manufacturing plant over in China has been ordered to shut down because of the coronavirus. Google shut down their corporate offices in China to, same reason, because coronavirus. There is another company that I know was that I wanted to mention. Oh yes, Huawei, the phone company, which is a domestic Chinese company. They postponed their developers conference because of the coronavirus as well. So interesting that they're doing that. Not really interesting, but that kind of gives us an idea of just how bad this whole coronavirus outbreak is.
Yeah.
Especially with these multi-billion-dollar companies just telling everyone to take a breather because of this flu that's going around, or this sickness that's going around. Chinese workers never take a break. They're never allowed breaks. And if they're getting a break because of this sickness, then it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
What should we expect as, the end consumers for these shutdowns? We should probably expect prices of components and general electronics to go up just a little bit. That's kind of what we saw a couple months ago when the Samsung plant in Korea lost power for one day. That affected actually a lot of RAM and SSD prices, because Samsung is the largest manufacturer of DRAM components, as well as NAND flash for the tech sector. They lost power for one day, and that caused everything that was in production at the time. So that includes silicon wafers for processing nodes, DRAM, cache modules, everything just like that was in the process that day, dead. That just scrap it all. Had to throw it away. Like millions of dollars worth of damages of lost components. So this coronavirus thing that they're shutting down the plants for, not exactly the same case, but still they have to shut down for at least a day, send everyone home. I'm expecting it more, like maybe 3 days, but we have to wait and see. For now, it's just they're sending everyone home to prevent the coronavirus outbreak. So good on them. Kind of sucks that has to come to a plague, essentially, right, for them to send their workers home. But a good call, nonetheless. Still freaky for me. But anyway, after the coronavirus scare outbreak, news with Lyft, the rideshare company, they're actually having struggles keeping afloat right now. They actually laid off 90 employees for the reason that Lyft is struggling to be profitable, actually. To kind of put it in a percentage number, 90 employees is almost 2% of their workforce. Now, that number alone doesn't sound bad, but if you talk to any business owner, if you talk to any economist, if you have to lay off just completely 2% of your workforce, especially with a larger company, it's a bad sign.
Yeah, still a lot of layoffs.
Yeah. So that actually leads me to think how Uber's doing right now, or any other rideshare company, as far as their profitability.
I think the last thing I heard about Uber was actually like a week ago, to where they're actually gonna test something in California where they're gonna be allowing like the drivers to choose their own like rates, essentially.
Ooh.
Yeah, which I think is very interesting. It's definitely better for the drivers because they'll be able to make more money. However, if Uber's struggling in the same place Lyft is, it probably won't last long.
Yeah. I wonder personally if this is more of like a market adaptation. To provide some more clarity on that, Lyft in an official statement said that they're still growing rapidly and they plan to hire more than 1,000 new employees this year in 2020. So my thought process behind that is maybe what's happening is that those 90 employees that were laid off were part of a project, like a pet project, or maybe they were part of an active development of Lyft as a business, or maybe some of their software development that are just not needed anymore. That happens a lot with growing businesses as they grow and as they expand their modules of how they function as a business, especially within the tech development part of a business. It's easy to get outdated and it's easy to just not be needed anymore. So that's what I think is going on here. If Lyft is telling the truth about their rapid expansion and plans to hire 1,000 new employees, let's see if they actually do that. But still, it's sad to see these people get laid off from Lyft. It's sad to see anyone get laid off. A little bit more news about Lyft regarding that. They reportedly lost $463.5 million in the third quarter of 2019.
Oof.
So that alone does not sound like rapidly growing,
right?
To me, at least. But we'll see. And then the quarter before that, they lost $644 million.
Ugh.
That's a lot of money, man. Like, that's a lot of money to just lose. I'm no businessman. I do know that lots of functioning businesses don't exactly turn a profit, but can still operate just because of how they're set up or how, they're financing all their assets and things like that. Lots of business things that, and I'm sure if someone has a business podcast, they can cover that, which is not this one, as far as I know. But yeah, so Lyft. Let's see if they keep to their promises and hiring more people and actually expand more this year. And if not, then rip Lyft.
Reese's and Pieces.
Yeah. I've always found Lyft to be slightly more expensive than Uber. At least that's how it was in Utah when I went there to visit. Yeah.
Every time I check it out here, Uber's always like slightly more expensive, like by $1.
Mm-hmm. That may be just how it is here versus Utah. And it wasn't like a big difference. It was maybe $1 difference.
Yeah.
For like a 9-mile ride that I needed to get in Utah. So I may be exaggerating here, but numbers are numbers, right? And if one's higher than the other, then it's higher. Like, there's no disputing that. But anyway, moving on to the next story. This is actually just one that I saw right before we started recording this podcast. It was about a robot that learns to sweat. And by learning to sweat, basically it learns how to cool itself as this functioning robot. But anyway, there's this tiny little robot. It looks like an octopus tentacle, really. But it's really, really small. It's a robotic finger, quote unquote, is what the testing lab calls it. It's meant to like grip things, which is why it's like all bending and stuff. But anyway, this little robot was designed to work long operating hours, which can lead to overheating of the internal components of this robot. There's lots of mechanical moving, a lot of times metal parts that simple lubrication, using grease or using oils just can't stand up to.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little bit different than huge manufacturing machines in factories, right? Like, you have these big machines that are punching out, for example, thousands of sheets of metal a day. Those can survive off of general lubricants, because you can just slosh gallons of lubricants on those machines, and they're designed to work that way. Not so much for little robots like this little robot, finger-sized robot. The principles of, I guess, fluid dynamics and lubrication don't apply the same way. So this robot was actually designed with just like humans, little pores that are in it that allow it to cycle liquid that's built into the robot that allow it to cool the components inside to keep it from not necessarily losing lubrication, but are designed to help it overheating.
That's still so weird to me.
Yeah. First, just a couple weeks ago, we talked about the the robots that
the organic
the
ones.
organic robots that produce single instructions on the genetic level that are programmed, quote unquote, that way. And now we're talking about finger robots that sweat. How long until we can design a child before it's born, non-genetically, just a robot? It's like a freaking Build-A-Bear workshop. Build a baby. Yeah, but I think that's really cool. It's really creative, really, especially with the age of robotics. I think we're being forced to be more creative, and what better place to look than biology, because life is really complicated. Life in all forms, from humans to animals to everything like that. So we're taking those principles and we're slowly applying them to robotics, not because it's fun or because it's exciting to do that, but because we're running out of ideas and we need to look elsewhere for inspiration on that. Just to clarify, this little robot is actually being actively developed by Cornell University. Woo, New York! I live not too far from Cornell, and the Istituto Italiano di Tecnologia, which is an Italian technical institute. That's literally what it translates into. And so it's a joint venture between those two universities to develop this this robot. These are little slippery fingers that are actually meant to go on a gripper style robot. And so the audience can't see it right now, but there's little gifs of it on the robot there, using it to grip an object and use that there. And so those fingers being highly, with those fingers having high dexterity, they need to be operating well at all times. I don't know if you've ever tried using a claw machine at an old Fry's or anything like that, but when the claw machine's old, you can hear it creak. Like when it tries to grab something for it, it's because no one cares about those claw machines and they haven't been lubricated in a while. But that's not the case with this robot here. So really, really cool stuff going on, coming from Cornell University. Shout outs to anyone who's working on the Apple genetics side of Cornell University, because those are my homies. Those are the people I knew. And the Apple genetics, yeah. So really cool stuff. I never got a chance to try the apples that they grew on the farm at Cornell, but they did tell me that they were actively involved in the development of the Snapdragon apple, which I did have a chance to try because they sold it at the markets there in New York, which is actually really cool. It's meant to be a crispy, like Honeycrisp apple, crunchy, with like a slightly sweeter red apple taste. Mm-hmm. So it was really cool. It's really cool because it's a genetically designed apple. So
now we just gotta wait for them to make the robots able to like convert the humidity in the air to naturally produce its own sweat.
Yeah. Pretty soon we won't have to even fuel these robots with batteries. They're just gonna intake oxygen from the air and then release carbon dioxide and just be fueled by combustion that way. That would be wild. I think that's when I would get scared of robots.
Yeah, that'd be spooky.
Yeah. Having literally a robotic lung that can do that for you. We'll run faster than Usain Bolt because we have the technology. Yeah, I was actually talking to my coworkers about that today. I'm like, I physically could never beat Usain Bolt because his running stride is almost 8 feet.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, so when he's full blast, like from one step to the next, that's 8 feet his legs are going, dude.
Oh my
so
god.
It's like 8 feet, 8 feet, 8 feet, 8 feet, every step, dude. It's nuts. Yeah. And that conversation arose because I told my friends that my fastest mile run was like 6 minutes and like 27 seconds, or 6 minutes 25 seconds.
He literally steps bigger than an average person.
Yeah, he can step almost literally twice my height.
Jeez.
And so we're like comparing numbers. I'm like, yeah, my stride. I'm a shorter guy. I'm like 5'7". I'm like, yeah, my stride is probably like 3 feet. So almost 3 times my stride, Usain Bolt. But maybe with a robotic lung, I can surpass Metal Gear. That is, but because I will become Metal Gear at that point with an iron lung. But anyway. Moving on from that robotics story, there was one more story that I wanted to share regarding Windows. Since we did talk a couple weeks ago about the ending of Windows 7 and the support for Windows 7. In that story, I want to make a slight correction because I made it seem like there was absolutely going to be no support for Windows 7 provided by Microsoft. That is a lie. For most people, they won't get Windows 7 support, but for enterprise solutions that are still using Windows 7, most companies that are still using Windows 7, you can actually purchase you can actually purchase Windows 7 support from Microsoft for there. It's an extended support, but of course it's highly specialized and it's for an out-of-date product, which is why you have to pay for it because they're not just going to provide that willy-nilly. I'm trying to find the article where I read that right now because there's I believe it was the German, I want to say it was the German government still runs on Windows 7, and they actually purchased this support plan for all of their machines.
Dang.
And for all of their, for all their offices or anything that falls under their, I guess, Germanic government scope. I don't know, anything that uses Windows 7, right? And it's actually costing them a pretty penny from what I remember reading there. I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find that article here real quick, but yeah. So I think it cost them almost $340,000.
Whoa!
And I think that's an annual plan for Windows 7 support. I'll confirm the details here as soon as I find the article there. But I'm pretty sure that's a not really accurate number. But that's found it. All right. $330,000 was not an accurate number. Do you want to guess? Do you want to guess how much they're paying for it?
30 mil.
No, lower. Thankfully.
I
wasn't too far off, but I was still pretty far off.
Like 700,000.
Close. $887,000.
Jesus.
For extended security updates and support for the German. But I did get the government right. It is the German government. But yeah, so in euros, that's 800,000 euros that they'll be paying, and that is for Windows 7 enterprise machines, which is big business, and I believe, let's see here, and that's again for the enterprise users. So that's really kind of like a worst case scenario because it's Windows 7 Enterprise. Below that is like Windows 7 Pro and like home editions, right? But the government of Germany has a Windows 7 Enterprise that they needed support for, and that's not even all of their machines, not all the German government machines. Only 20,000 of their 85,000 machines have Windows 7. So 887,000 USD for support and continued security updates for 20,000 machines. That's a pretty penny.
Hold on. Let me see this. How much US dollars?
$887,000. Almost $1 million.
All right, and then you said 20,000 machines?
Yeah, 20,000 machines. So just some quick math. You'll let the audience know how much that is exactly.
It's $44.35 a year per machine.
Oof. Yikes. That's all I'm going to say. Just for updates and continued support.
Yeah, you'd think it'd be more cost effective to just upgrade.
Yeah, it really would, especially since the upgrades are free.
Yeah.
But that I don't.
For now, anyway.
Yeah. At the same time, though, I don't run IT for the German government, so I don't know what the adoption costs or what the downtime would be, or even if they can afford the downtime to update the machines and the security that all that implies. I just don't know. I'm not that level of IT. So I'm assuming they deemed this more economically viable. I don't know.
You would assume, though, in the long run that it'd be better to do it sooner than later.
Yeah, I think so, too. I think a lot of it's compatibility, too. Probably their proprietary government programs that they use run best on Windows 7. Especially since it's non-consumer programs. They probably run best. They were coded for specifically Windows 7. And again, that's just the adoption side of flipping everyone over to Windows 10. Even in compatibility mode, some programs just don't work. and that's just the sad truth. So I guess they deemed it necessary to just continue supporting Windows 7. In all fairness, though, we do know that Germans like to complicate everything. And we can see that in their cars, especially. Volkswagen, Mercedes-Benz. What's another German car company? BMW? Are they? I think they're German. I want to say they're German.
I think you might be right.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure BMW stands for a super German name that I can't remember. It is German. I don't know what BMW stands for, but I know it's German. But yeah, so Germans complicating things is going to cost them a pretty penny, and we'll just leave them to it. But we'll point and laugh the entire time. I know I will, because they're running Windows 7 and had to pay that much for continued support and security updates.
They've got to slowly be upgrading those 20,000, I would think. Because if they don't slowly update them, and they just wait till there's absolutely no support, and they got to update all of them at once, it's going to be a mess.
Yeah, I don't even want to think about it, but I know that's going to be an IT nightmare that I'm glad I'm not going to be participating in. So we'll just leave them to their own devices for that. I'll be glad that I am not a part of that. But that's, just one, not really a news story, but a little tidbit that I thought would be fun to share. The Vine successor, which is called Byte, B-Y-T-E, like the digital byte. It's available now for Android and iOS. I actually downloaded it the day that it came out.
Really?
Yeah. And you know why? Because when I was a Mormon missionary out in New York from 2013 to 2015, October 2013 to October 2015 to be more precisely, I completely missed the birth, the apex, and the death of Vine in those 2 years. I came back and I was like, what's this Vine shit? And then everyone's like, oh, dude, that's dead. I was like, wait, what? I missed this cultural phenomenon completely. Like, absolutely. And I feel like...
Yeah, it was popping for a minute, and then it just disappeared.
Yeah. Like, I remember coming home, and I'm like, all right, I got to catch up on all this stuff that happened while I was gone. And then I finally got to the Vine portion. I'm like, oh, what's Vine? And friends are like, oh, like, yeah, it's like, it was this app that was really cool. Made some people famous, but now it's dead. And so, like, I spend my time, every once in a while, I'll go on YouTube, and I'll be like, funny Vine compilation.
Yeah, there's a lot of people who blew up because of Vine and are still super big in the online entertainment industry.
Yeah, isn't that how Logan Paul blew up? Was through Vine?
I believe both Logan and Jake. How David Dobrik blew up. Mm-hmm. And I mean, he's like top vlog dog right now. So
yeah. I wanted to say Casey Neistat, but I'm pretty sure he's a YouTube OG. But I don't know, because I missed Vine. So I literally have no clue.
Now it's all the TikToks.
Now we gotta know. Yeah. Oh, what's that annoying chick's name? She's like Latina, super hot. I don't remember her name. But she has a really funky sounding name that I'm pretty sure I'll remember after this podcast. I can't remember it right now. But yeah, lots of people made it on Vine, and so we have a replacement. We have Byte. There's some funny stuff on there. I was actually exploring it, so now that I have it, I have to like think. All right, what's some stuff that I can?
I'm gonna have to check it out.
Yeah, it's really easy. You download it, you sign up with Google, and boom, like you're in it. So I have to think of 7-minute clips.
Madge got me into TikTok now because I found out it's not just teens singing everywhere.
Yeah, TikTok's a whole meme, dude.
There's some pretty sick gaming clips in there.
Oh, I haven't even seen any gaming clips from TikTok.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we have to blow up on TikTok, blow up on Byte for sure. I really want to see that dude from Vine, the skater guy. His gear, whack. His hair, whack. His foot stance, whack.
The way he doesn't even like to smile, whack.
Dude, I seen him posted all over Facebook recently.
Really?
Yeah, and I saw the full Vine of that guy today for the first time ever, like from beginning to end, and it's hilarious. Dude, if you're listening, which you're not, just blow up on Byte for me, please. I'll watch all of your Byte clips. It'll be great. But with that aside, yeah, I have no other tech news today.
That just happens to be our one random viewer on iTunes.
Yeah. He's like, I got you, fam. Yeah, we do have like one listener on Apple Podcasts. It's really weird.
And then we have like one on Mac Pro or something like that.
Yeah, someone listens to us straight from their Mac Pro. It's like, who's that? Not me. I mean, do I even have any friends that I know has a Mac Pro? Not to my knowledge.
I mean, I know there's a couple we haven't talked to in a while that might. Greg
Maybe.
being one of them.
Maybe, yeah. He was an Apple fan back in the day. He might still be. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in forever.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's it for the tech news. I'm sure you got some good gaming, some really exciting gaming news today.
I do, and I'm upset because I just shut one of my tabs. All right, there we go. All right, so first up, the one that I am super excited about, and I know our whole group was excited about, is Atari branded hotels with esports studios and game rooms are coming to the U.S.
Yes.
And of all of the locations they confirmed, Arizona gets the first location.
Phoenix, baby, let's go. So excited.
Yeah, it's going to be sick. Construction is supposed to begin mid-2020, and they're hoping to finish between 18 to 24 months, so a year and a half to 2 years.
Yeah, which is what I actually predicted, because I didn't even read the article, and that's what I predicted.
Yeah, I want to say that one was just recently announced, like how long they wanted to take. But I'm super excited. I think it's going to be sick, especially if, like, however they decide to theme it. I hope they don't go, like, overly simple and they really take the, like, gaming edge to it, because, I mean, that'll be the main thing separating it from other hotels. If they just go out being like everybody else, I don't see them popping off as much.
Yeah.
But, like, they have a lot of potential, and as soon as, like, pre-orders for rooms open, it is going to be sold out so fast.
Quick. For a long time.
Yeah, I predict at least a year and a half, it's going to be booked completely.
Yeah. I think so, too. As far as, like, their theming, kind of going along with with your concern there, at least here in Tucson, right? We have, like, different levels of, like, gamery aesthetic, right? It used to be that, like, Cobra Arcade was, like, the gamer place, and everyone's like, whoa, Cobra Arcade, which it is, because they have a bunch of amazing machines in there, new ones and classic machines, so pops off to Cobra, for, you know, hats off to Cobra for doing that. The most recent place that took it up a notch from that is Round 1 Arcade, which is, like, a Japanese-themed arcade place where you can have lots of fun. I love Round 1. It's a really sick place. I love their karaoke, dude. It's so cool. It's so cool, especially because they have it in different languages. They have all my favorite Spanish songs and karaoke there, dude.
Oh, really?
I went hard. On my sister's birthday, we rented a room. I went ham, dude.
Do they run their, like, rooms, like, off, like, the internet? Or do they have, like, designated karaoke machines?
They have designated karaoke machines. The way that it works is that you download an app called HeelSonic on your phone, and you run the karaoke machine off of your phone.
Oh, that's cool.
So, like, you queue up songs from your phone, you look them up on your phone, and they just appear on the TV, you know, using the karaoke machine at Round 1. It's so dope, dude. It's so dope. And the pizza's pretty good. Their ice cream's cheap. It's like, you know, 49 cents for a cone there, or something like that.
If I remember correctly, they also have, like, a full bar as well.
They do. They have a full bar. Yeah. So my sister, for her birthday, we all went there, and everyone just, like, got drunk off of wine, and then we got into the karaoke room, because you can't have drinks in the karaoke room. You can have food though. So that was lots of fun. So highly recommend Round 1. But continuing back to the story, Round 1 is, like, the place in Tucson right now for the gamery aesthetic. For the wild Japanese theme, and they do a really good job. I'm expecting this Atari hotel to take it up another notch from there.
Oh, they have to.
They have to.
Especially being in Phoenix.
Yeah.
They have to go big, otherwise it's, like I said, it's going to be like every other hotel. Mm-hmm. I'm excited, even though I probably will never be able to afford it, to see what their most expensive suite is and everything in that room.
Dude, never say never.
It's gotta be so decked out.
Yeah, thousands of dollars a night.
Like, there's gotta be arcade machines in the room, right?
I hope
there's gotta be.
They better. For paying top dollar for that.
And then have you seen, like, their new, like, I don't know how new it is, but I've only seen it recently. Their, like, 3D Pong machine. Have you seen that?
Yes, I think they have one at Round 1.
Really?
Yeah, where it's
Yeah,
physical
they do.
bricks. Where
Yeah.
it's like physical bricks and an actual ball that
Yeah,
bounces
they do.
around. Yeah.
Oh man, that hotel's gonna be so sick. I'm super excited.
Yeah.
But that room's gonna be so expensive.
It's gonna be so expensive, dude. I'm telling you, we should gather up all of our forces and our money and just rent out the most expensive room.
I'd be
just
so
for
down.
a night.
I'd be so down.
Get sloshed. Just enjoy the Atari-ness. I'm so down, dude.
All right. As for the hotel, that is all I have on that. More coronavirus stuff though. The Chinese League of Legends Pro Series is currently suspended due to the coronavirus.
Yeah, I remember reading about that.
Yeah, the LPL basically delayed the matches and said until we can ensure the safety and health of our players and fans, this is not happening.
Yeah, so they didn't give a time when they'll be back with that series, did they? They just postponed it indefinitely?
Yeah, they just said they're sorry for the disruption and promised to update fans as soon as possible. But yeah, they didn't give actually, all professional sporting events have been suspended until March.
Wow.
Per China's General Administration of Sport.
March? That's after Chinese New Year, isn't it? Or is that right before? I think it's after.
I think that is after.
Right after, because I think February. I don't know. I don't celebrate Chinese New Year, so I have no clue.
I want to say that's actually going on right now, right? The Lunar
Probably.
New Year, I believe so.
Probably. I don't know. Someone Google that for us. I should Google that for us. Just real quick, since I'm on the bench here.
It's crazy to see how much that coronavirus is affecting, especially since, to me, like, I haven't looked into the virus too much, so I don't know exactly how long it's been going on, but it seems like it popped up overnight almost. So it's crazy to see, like you said, all those businesses being kind of paused, and then it affecting pro esports and other areas. I remember seeing too, like, did you see that hospital they built in like under a week?
Like the makeshift hospital?
Yeah.
I've seen a picture of it.
Yeah, they finished it in like 2 or 3 days, I think.
Jeez.
They're wilding over there. Next up, the video game Dying Light. There is a Battle Royale spinoff that players can now get for free as long as they've played Dying Light before. They're doing this basically because of the unfortunate Dying Light 2 delays. So they're trying to basically, like, keep people in and say, thanks for being so patient with us and not, like, killing us over this delay. Like, they're not getting the angry hate mob.
Yeah, they want to keep the hype alive.
Yeah, so they're basically, as long as you've played Dying Light or you own it on PC or Xbox or whatever, if you go to their website and link your PSN, Xbox, or PC account, they'll basically see it and they'll say, you qualify to get this free game. Link your account and download it.
Download it, yeah. It's pretty dope.
Hopefully this gets a lot of people playing it because it's been around for a while, and unfortunately it came out at like the prime area of all the big battle royales, so it kind of died out super fast to where now their daily player count was under 100 people, and the battle royale matches in this aren't particularly huge. It's only like 12 players at once.
Oh, okay.
And then of course you also have zombies that you're fighting.
Yeah.
So you can choose to either like team up with people to kill zombies and get equipment, but eventually you do have to fight each other.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's definitely an interesting take. I know I'm going to be downloading it just to see if I can get into a game, hopefully.
Yeah. Dude, when you said there was a player base of like less than 100, I thought, like, do they get together on Reddit and just like agree to all play at the same time? Like, every day? Like,
hey guys, anybody there?
Yeah. I'll be playing at this time. Hopefully you guys can play too. Because if not, then no one can play. That is pretty cool, though, how they're giving away that game. That's not... I don't want to say it's rare, but it's definitely not expected of any video game company.
Okay, so this article was basically from 2 days ago on PC Gamer by Fraser Brown. And it says that after they released it for free, it did inject some life into it. According to Steam charts, it was almost back to its peak player count at launch. And this is kind of sad because their peak player count was around 347 people playing at once as of an hour ago, 2 days ago, when this article was posted.
Jeez, so they literally quadrupled their player base, and it's still under 400.
Yeah, let's see something here real quick.
Dang, that's crazy.
47.
That leads an interesting question though. Is the current economy, at least in the United States, affecting the gamer industry as far as purchasing power goes? Because that's what it seems like maybe in this case. A really small case, nonetheless. But really the driving factor of this was that the game was free.
Yeah.
And gamers love free stuff. But gamers also love paying for games when they come out, if it interests them.
Yeah.
So that's actually a really interesting question. I'd like to see numbers on that. Like game release dates, gross money generated on release dates for certain games, especially the big title ones, but also the smaller ones too, because I think those are interesting numbers to keep an eye on too.
And I can definitely understand how this one didn't pop off super popular, it being only 12 players at once, and it costing around the time like free battle royales were popping off, like Fortnite. But I definitely do want to give it a shot because the zombies themselves add a different like playstyle element, as well as the way you play Dying Light. Have you ever played Dying Light?
I have not played Dying Light.
It is like really big on parkour.
Ooh, okay.
So it's essentially like a first-person parkour zombie battle royale.
That sounds like fun to me.
Yeah. Let's see here. So, according to their peak player count and how many people are in a game, there's roughly 29 games going on at once if they're all full.
I could probably run that off a home server.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So, I mean, hopefully it sparks a little more life into it, because it would really be unfortunate for those servers to get shut down, because servers do cost money to run.
Yeah.
As for Dying Light, that is it. And next up, Doom Eternal will not have microtransaction or an in-game store.
Yay, good news.
Hopefully more games follow this suit, because I am sick of microtransactions and paying for either experience boosts or items you usually have to find or have skill to acquire.
Yeah, or have to grind insane amount of times to get if you don't want to pay for them.
Yeah, like I understand how some people like it being, life is busy, life happens, not everyone has time to play games. However, to me, it was always like a lot more rewarding to earn something than to buy something.
Then unlock it. Yeah. Yeah. And that's where like the joy and like the elitism of gaming comes from, is being skilled, putting in the time to unlock things, and just taking a monetary shortcut. It feels like cheating, in all honesty. In my perspective, I know that the thought process, and I'm not saying that I've spoken to game devs or executives in the gaming industry, but just out of pure virtue of the nature of how businesses run, I know that their thought process behind microtransactions is, quote unquote, a lot of people are working so much nowadays that they don't have time to make, don't have time to put into games like they used to anymore. So let's offer them microtransactions so they can buy the upgrades that they won't be able to get other through other means if they don't have the time.
Yeah.
I know that's what they think, close quote on that. But at the same time, there's lots of people who love video games, who have time to play video games, and there's also a lot of people who don't have time to play video games that also work hard, but even though they work hard and they don't have the time to play video games, they still don't have the money to buy all the stuff that they would like to invest into their favorite game.
Mm-hmm.
That's just how it is. Like, at least in the American market, that's exactly how it is. Like, we're still recovering from a slight recession. And don't even mention, the big, the small depression of like 2008 and the stock market and the housing crash that happened that time. We're still recovering from that.
Yeah.
If not monetarily, then, morally and, energy-wise. But still, that's crazy. And I'm definitely not a fan of microtransactions in game. I don't remember. I can't remember the last time I bought a skin on League of Legends. All my recent skins have been earned.
Yeah, honestly, ever since they did the update a few years back where you can re-roll skin shards or their orange essence to buy skins, like, I haven't bought me a skin I think since then, honestly.
Yeah, because there's always a chance that you'll get a skin, and even if it's not the skin you want or one that you were particularly looking forward to, freeze free.
Yeah.
For just playing the game, for doing what you were doing in the beginning.
And it's not like they give you... It's not like you're constantly getting the worst skins. Like, there's always legacy content, epic skin shards, legendary skin... Like, you don't get bogus skin shards. Like, I think I have probably a good 30 shards that are just sitting in my thing, and they're all either legacy, epic, or legendary.
Yeah.
And I just don't have the orange essence yet to get them.
Yeah, I know for me, one that I recently got that I was actually really happy to get was Star Guardian Lux. That was a skin reroll.
I want to say I got Star Guardian Misfortune like a couple weeks ago.
That's a solid one. That's a solid one. Yeah, so I think that they give out the skins at a certain time and everyone just gets the skin at the same time. If they reroll skin shards, in League of Legends. That's just my theory, because there's been times where I rerolled and gotten a skin and I see, in the games the following week, I see lots of people with the same skin.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so I'm like, this is definitely premeditated. Like, they're planning this out and everyone's getting the same skin.
Let me see here.
It's all conspiracy, man.
Now, of course, in Doom Eternal, they are still going to have, like, cosmetic items, but it's not going to be money to buy them. You're going to basically be buying them with experience you get from playing the game. So, just like the olden days.
Yeah.
And
as it should be.
I think not only is it refreshing to get a game that doesn't have microtransactions or an in-game shop, but in the time we're in now where every game has it, it is a great way to stand out to the competition, because, like, how many other games can you say right now are coming out that you know for fact won't have microtransactions or an in-game store?
Probably a Risk of Rain 2.
Yeah.
That doesn't count. That's an indie game. Like that's a whole different league. That's about it. I can't name any other game.
Because, I mean, as far as I know, I could definitely... I don't know if they've confirmed it yet or not, but I can see Cyberpunk having it when they release their online multiplayer, for sure, because that's going to be a big hitter. I'm not sure if Halo Infinite confirmed whether or not they would.
Have Halos had microtransactions
I don't think
before?
Halo has.
I don't think so either. Mind you, I don't really play Halo, but I feel like it'd be really out of place for the kind of story-driven game Halo is.
Yeah.
Maybe for multiplayer, but I've never seen any type of microtransaction-y crap going on with Halo that I've remembered. So you're more experienced on that than I am.
Yeah, I don't recall ever having any in-game transactions for Halo.
Yeah, but we're crossing our fingers that it's not the first case here with Halo Infinite, because that'd be really bad.
Yeah.
That would look really bad.
Right?
That would look really, really bad.
Let's see here. And then my final story is one that I'm actually super excited about, and that is a possible leak on Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic reboot being in development.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah.
Do we know which studio is working on it?
They're not entirely sure. However, they believe it might be BioWare, which is the team behind Knights of the Old Republic 1, rather than Obsidian. Because it's part of the EA family rather than Microsoft-owned Obsidian.
Yeah.
Now, I haven't played Knights of the Old Republic 2. I only played the first one, and I absolutely loved that game.
Yeah.
Like, it was really hard for me to get into it because I was like, I just want a lightsaber already.
Yeah,
but
it's not, you don't get a lightsaber first thing, go away.
But, like, the story was so good, and it's probably been one of my favorites for a while. Like, once you actually get into the story and you understand what's going on.
Yeah.
Because when I first played it, I think I was a little too young to understand, like, everything happening.
Yeah.
Did you ever play Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic?
I did, yeah. I'm in the same boat as you, where when was the first... I think I may have been, like, 14 or 15 when I first played it, and even then, I still couldn't grasp, what that game really was about.
Yeah, because there's a lot of story elements in there that are, like, big words.
big story.
Big brain.
Big chungus. Yeah, all the big... But yeah, so I think I probably put 3 hours into the game, and most of it was just wandering around trying to figure out what the hell I'm supposed to do. But yeah, I did play it. From what I remember, I liked it, but I didn't really understand what it was about. So,
and to me, it was one of the games that really got me more into the role playing aspect because you had different skills that you unlocked, like upgrading your speech or your lock picking or stuff like that to get into areas or access certain dialogue to
reputation.
Yeah. And that was another thing you could like choose. I liked the fact that you could choose to like go more dark with it or stay in the light, and it would like affect your character.
Yeah. To become Dark Force corrupted.
Yeah.
And your appearance would reflect that.
The report claims that EA has a reboot in development which could be announced as soon as E3 in June. And supposedly it could either be coming back as a remake or a sequel with elements of both Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 retold as part of the plot.
A sequel.
So
I think that would be huge.
It could be Knights of the Old Republic 3 or its own like reboot with some story changes like of 1 and 2 put together, which would be very interesting.
Yeah. Or just like a remastered Knights of the Old Republic collection and have the 2 integrated into the same game somehow.
Which would be super sick too. Another thing that I really liked about that was I love the fact that you can like, depending on what planet you were on, you could find like different colored lightsaber crystals to change your lightsaber, and you actually like built your lightsaber in the game, which I thought was really neat.
Yeah.
But this is big because I know even with as old as Knights of the Old Republic 1 and 2 is, they still have a really major following. So, I mean, they could get on a lot of good people's side.
Yeah.
Like, EA they're obviously not the best company when it comes to games. Like, they get...
to respecting franchises,
yes,
I think.
And pleasing fans. So, I mean, if they do this right, it could bump them back up fairly well.
Yeah.
And I know that they are fighting super hard to keep that Star Wars gaming licensing because they almost got it ripped away from them after Battlefront 2.
Yeah. And then they did a really good job with Jedi Fallen Order. So this could be a good sign that they're learning from their mistakes and they're listening to the right group of people when it comes to game making. I haven't played Jedi Fallen Order, but you have, and you've given it very, very positive reviews.
Oh yeah, I love that game.
So maybe they'll apply some of the same magic formula from Jedi Fallen Order to these new remakes if they do happen, which will most definitely be the case because they need to save their own ass as far as what they're portrayed as in the gaming light.
And it would definitely be interesting if they do this reboot because a lot of people were kind of like biffed after Disney bought rights because Disney was like, yeah, everything that was Star Wars, not canon anymore. So, like, this would officially make Knights of the Old Republic canon again.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of people are already like, still canon to me.
Still canon, yeah. Well, I mean, Disney has no right to take away what the fans deem canon collectively.
Fair.
They just make entertainment. So, at least that's how I see it.
It could also be interesting if they set up, like, I know the time like the time difference in the timeline is going to be pretty great compared to what their next movies are supposed to be with the High Republic era, but they could definitely like do some early backstory that could eventually affect the possible movies coming out.
Yeah, have it all tied in.
Mm-hmm.
They could pull a Marvel and have it all tied in. Because when Marvel came out with Marvel vs. Capcom 3 and then Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3, they were definitely foreshadowing some movies that they were going to do in the years following. Doctor Strange.
Yep.
He was in Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. We got a Doctor Strange movie. In Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, we have Captain Marvel. We got a Captain Marvel movie shortly after. What's another example from Ultimate Marvel? I know him is Rocket Raccoon.
Yep.
And then we got a Guardians of the Galaxy movie a couple of years after. So this could definitely be the same marketing strategy from Disney, from Star Wars. I hope they do, because I want more Star Wars things. I want it done correctly.
Yeah.
The new trilogy, I'm not a big fan of that. Of the new trilogy. I'm just not they're good movies, but they're not good Star Wars movies.
We need movies with storytelling of Mandalorian.
Yeah, we need Mandalorian level stuff, man. And I love Rogue One. Rogue One is probably one of my favorite Star Wars movies.
Dude, same.
It's so good.
Rogue One is amazing all the way. The very ending scene with Vader is like so like spine tingling.
Yeah, I could watch like a 30-minute clip of Vader just wasting rebel troops on his ship. I'm pretty sure that would be great.
One of the main writers of that movie, Gary Whitta, has stated that he'd be interested in doing a Star Fox movie, which I would be super stoked on.
Oh, that'd be dope.
That'd be so sick.
Yeah.
As long as it's done right and it doesn't look like and like Star Fox and all them don't look weird.
yeah. Like I'm trying to think. Like the original Sonic trailer weird.
Yeah. But I mean, if it's done right, it could be sick.
Yeah, absolutely.
I have one more final little announcement. Have you heard of Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge?
The animated trailer that was released, I think yesterday. Yeah, I saw that. I haven't seen the trailer.
Oh,
I know lots of people were
so
mad.
good.
I know lots of people were mad because it wasn't the live action Mortal Kombat trailer. So a lot of people were salty about that. But I haven't seen the trailer, so we have to watch.
I still think it looks super good. Based off the trailer, it almost to me looks like a retelling of the very first Mortal Kombat game, like story-wise. Obviously, I'm guessing they're gonna put a little more focus on Scorpion.
Yeah.
But you do see, other famous characters from the game in the trailer. You see Liu Kang, you see Johnny Cage, Sonya, Sub-Zero, obviously.
Yeah. He has to be in there.
Goro makes an appearance. Like,
dope.
It definitely looks like it can be good. Hopefully, it's not like booty writing and animation.
Yeah.
Like once it's released, but it looks like it has some good potential. I'm definitely excited for it.
As far as art style, is it made in the same art style as Mortal Kombat 1? Just like super basic outfits and things like that? Or is it more like a modern take? Is it more of a redesign of the MK1 sprites?
It's kind of modern design. If I had to... I'm trying to think of like what other animated shows I've seen with this style.
Like the League of Legends shorts, maybe?
Like there's other animated cartoons I've seen with like this style.
Oh, Last Airbender?
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
that's exactly the style it is.
That's dope, dude. I love the animation style. I think it's really good. It's really
I think it looks really good. Like I said, I'm definitely excited for it. Let's see. It is... Let's see, it's gonna take on the traditional Mortal Kombat story, focused on the tournament held between the champions of Outworld and Earthrealm.
This is a good story. It's no fluff, no BS. It's a really straightforward hero save the world story.
Hopefully we're gonna see some sick fatalities because the movie is R-rated.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, dude. We gotta see some sick... Who's gonna die? That's my question. You see some fatalities, people are gonna die.
We're probably gonna see if they're doing a revenge story with Scorpion, you're definitely gonna see a lot of his clan die at the hands of Sub-Zero.
Yeah. Do you think? Well, so does Sub-Zero die in Mortal Kombat 1, or is that 2?
I think that might be 2.
Yeah, I don't remember him dying in 1. Now that I think of it. Dang it!
And
I see Sub-Zero die.
then his brother becomes like the Sub-Zero and the rest of the story.
Was it Kuai Liang?
Yeah, because the original Sub-Zero who dies, I believe, becomes Noob Saibot.
Yes.
Let's see.
Bihan. That's a meme on YouTube. I'll show it to you after the podcast. We show each other lots of funny videos that we think of on the podcast after the podcast. We should do like a post-podcast like happy hour where we just like share funny YouTube videos.
I'm seeing if they're... Okay. Mortal Kombat Legends Scorpion's Revenge will be released on digital DVD and Blu-ray in spring of 2020. They don't have the exact date yet.
That's super soon.
Yeah.
I want to watch it, for sure. That's going to be dope.
As far as my news stories, though, sir, that is everything.
That's everything. Cool.
I do know that there is potential... what is it? What's the DC fighting game?
Injustice?
Yeah, possible Injustice 3.
That'd be wild.
They believe because of the fact that Joker's being added into Mortal Kombat 11.
Yeah.
They think it could be a slight tease towards that.
Yeah.
But
it's a really cool Joker, too.
Yeah.
Have you seen gameplay of it?
His fatality's so sick.
I have not seen his fatality.
No?
That's the only thing I haven't seen. Yeah, I've seen gameplay. I've seen, like, his setups. I've basically seen, like, the moveset display video where they like show up his setups, like his keep away, all that jazz.
Yeah, after this you got to see the video because his fatality is super sick.
Down. We got a list of videos to watch after the podcast. More than usual today, I feel. We saw some videos before the podcast too. Well, a video.
Crazy Walmart.
Crazy lady. Walmart lady, man. Yeah.
Oh, that is my favorite video right now.
Dude, it's great. It's great. But, alright, so if you have no more stories, then I think we should just do a quick recap of the LCS standings, since we just got through the first week of the North American LCS. And we're just around, our hour limit here for our podcast. Not really a limit, but that's just what we aim for every time for consistency's sake, right? But the current LCS standings really surprised me. I saw some games. I was disappointed in some teams. I was really impressed by others. But currently tied for first at 2 wins and 0 losses. We have Team Dignitas, which I definitely didn't expect. FlyQuest, which I definitely didn't expect as well. And then the third team tied for first is Cloud9, which are definitely doing better than I expected.
Mm-hmm.
I don't expect them to do as well going on throughout the season. We just went through the first week of LCS. Cloud9 specifically. And FlyQuest and Dignitas too. I don't expect them to, have outstanding weeks like they did for the opening week of LCS. But we'll wait and see. If any of them stay at number 1, it's going to be Cloud9 for sure. Tied for 4th at 1 win and 1 loss, we have 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses, Team Liquid, and Immortals. So, Team Liquid definitely did not expect them to lose their first game against Cloud9 on the opening day of LCS. They got stomped by Cloud9. It was like a 23-minute game.
Ugh.
Yeah, they got railed. It was bad. I remember watching that and just cringing the whole time for Team Liquid because I wanted Team Liquid to win. But nonetheless, it's just still a 1-game difference between the spots in the LCS so far. So we'll just wait till the rest of the season goes. And then tied for 8th place, we have 3 teams. We got CLG, Golden Guardians, and TSM. Definitely was not expecting TSM to be 0-2.
Yeah.
Their first week. I was expecting them to be 1-1.
Yeah, I definitely didn't expect them to be at the top, but I definitely didn't expect them to be all the way at the bottom.
Yeah, for sure.
Same with CLG, honestly. I thought they would do a little better. I was kind of
their new mid laner, Crown, he's a good mid laner. He's like world-class mid laner, and replacing Power of Evil with Crown was definitely an upgrade in my eyes, but they're not doing too well.
And then with as hard as it was for... Let me double check this before I come off as not knowing this team. Okay, yeah, I was right. With as difficult as they were, like, having to find players, I was not expecting Dignitas to be undefeated in the first week.
Yeah.
Because I was like, man,
Wild.
if they spent all their money on Hooney and they're having trouble buying other players, like, it's not going to be a good year for them.
Yeah, but they went 2-0, so I mean that's good for them. As far as teams that I expected to be right where they were, Golden Guardians being 0-2, I kind of expected them to be at that place. Immortals and Evil Geniuses and 100 Thieves being 1-1, that's pretty much where I expected them to be in the first week of LCS. Again, Cloud9 at 2-0, didn't expect them to be there. I expected them to be 1-1. But they're in 2-0, so they're doing something right there. But those are really all my thoughts, and this abbreviated LCS overview of the first week.
Did you watch? You watched the Academy games, huh? Or
yes,
some of them.
I watched some of them. I watched some of Monday Night League, which is the Academy games, and then the 2 LCS teams that play. I didn't really like it because there's 4 Academy games going on at the same time, and each of those Academy games have their own casters, and then you also have casters on top of them too.
Oh, that's weird.
Yeah, so like it was Freak and I want to say Kobe probably being the casters that narrated all the games as they switch between the Academy games. And then they have each Academy game with their own caster. It's super complicated. A lot of people complained about how chaotic it was, and I definitely agree. Definitely tune into next week's Monday Night League to figure out what I'm talking about, because it was just straight chaotic. But the games, the LCS games that night were really good LCS games. And it was refreshing to have that available to me Monday night.
Yeah.
Just chill and just watch live LCS games on a Monday. It felt great.
And then I know you said my boy Contracts was killing it in the Academy game.
Yeah, they won their Academy game that day. I think Contracts was like 4-0-2.
Dang.
I believe. So yeah, he was kicking ass that game. So good for him.
I gotta figure out what pro I'm gonna be rooting for this year, because Sneaky's out. My favorite jungler, Contracts, is now on an Academy team. So like, I gotta take a good gander at these teams and decide who I'm gonna be rooting for.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Broxa when he comes over from Europe. He's supposed to be on TL right now, but he's having visa issues. I want him to do super well on Team Liquid, mainly because imports to NA have historically been a bad idea, for the most part. Some notable examples of imports that didn't exactly work out were Phoenix from Team Liquid when he first came over, Crown for whichever team he came over for first. You have Power of Evil. Didn't really. I mean, he's pretty good, but he didn't work out as well as people wanted him to work out. Mm-hmm. Febivin, who came over to NA for a season and he sucked balls, and then he went back to Europe, and now he's just not a good laner anymore. What's another one? Hooney, given the season, he didn't really work out in NA. He's not as dominant as he used to be when he was on Fnatic in Europe. Reignover, same thing. When Hooney and Reignover were on Fnatic, they were dominant, undefeated season. Then they came over to NA and they didn't dominate as hard. There's lots of imports, lots of Korean imports that did the same too. But there's lots of exceptions. Impact from Korea, he's been super solid. He's great. He's the best top laner in NA right now, in my opinion.
It's very interesting considering, like, based off of what you'd watch, you'd expect the transfers from other regions to NA to do really well, considering, as the general consensus, like, NA's not
it's just
close
bad
to
as
being
a whole.
the best. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting to see all the people coming from the better regions to here and not holding up.
yeah, that's definitely the case. And now this season we have Soaz from Europe, and he's not doing too hot here in NA either. Like, he's a top laner and he's not doing too well. So that's just hi kitty. Hi. So I mean that's just what we're seeing right now. So I'm really hoping, and Broxa has expressed. He's like, yeah, I know that European imports historically have been bad in NA, and that's because a lot of European imports to NA is one of the highest paid regions in League of Legends, like beating out even Korea, like most times, like with Faker's pay. Like everyone in NA, if you're a good player, you get paid pretty close to what Faker gets paid in Korea, which is nuts. Yeah, like $1 million contracts, like multi-million-dollar contracts. I mean, we saw Huni guaranteed $2 million contract, and that's just Huni.
Yeah.
Imagine what Doublelift's getting paid. Imagine what Impact's getting paid. Imagine what Core JJ is getting paid. Basically everyone on TL. Imagine what they're getting paid and how expensive that team is. But Broxa has expressed he knows that this is something that is observed by most people for European imports to NA, and he said that he's not about that. That he's dedicated, he's focused, and he wants to bring NA to a world championship, which Broxa's a great jungler, and I can definitely see that happening because Xmithy's a solid jungler. He was definitely a rock that TL could lean on. But as far as a world championship goes, like, you don't need a rock to lean on. You need a rock to sling at your opponents. And that's what I think Brox is going to do, and that's why I'm rooting for him in the NALCS this season, so that he can bring TL to that championship.
Have they updated, like, whenabouts they think he's going to finally be able to come over?
Not that I know of. I know visas are tricky, so it's kind of hard to get that figured out for anyone, really. So I know there have been players who are supposed to come over to NA, like the Korean player Fly. He was supposed to be on FlyQuest, I think 2 seasons ago, and then there were visa issues, and he never ended up making it over to NA. Yeah, so it was supposed to be Fly. That was supposed to be his in-game tag.
Fly.
Yeah, but he never made it. So, hopefully that doesn't happen here with Broxa. I hope that he can, get his visa soon. Because right now, Surenfire is the Team Liquid jungler, and you watch him play, and you're just like, man, that's no Xmithy. That's definitely not Broxa. So I'm rooting for Broxa for sure.
What did you think about the picks we actually saw, like played characters so far this season?
Yeah. So Aphelios and Senna, the 2 new ADCs, quote unquote, in Senna's case, right? They have been picked or banned every single game this past week so far, which it's awesome to see the pros play them at that level, especially Aphelios just because of how complicated it is.
Yeah.
But especially seeing Senna being played because she got nerfed pretty hard in her ADC capacity, and everyone's playing her as an ADC in the LCS. Still, yeah. And so they're just like farming souls. They know how to play her, and she destroys, dude. She is so strong. And when games, it's rare to see a game without Aphelios or Senna. And then when they're both, banned from the game, then you just see the usual, Misfortune picks, which is actually really refreshing to see Misfortune back in the LCS. I'm trying to remember the other ADC that I was seeing. I want to say Ashe or maybe Caitlyn.
I'm trying to remember what top laner we've seen almost every single game.
Ooh, top laner. I think they've played Set. I think they've played Set in LCS once at least. It may have been the Academy team. I'm pretty sure it's the Academy team that has played Set. Which one? I don't know, because I wasn't really paying attention. But yeah, so Aphelios is really cool to see. Does lots of bursty damage. Senna, same thing, lots of bursty damage.
That's who it was. It was Aatrox. We saw a
Aatrox.
lot of Aatrox.
Yeah, and he's considered kind of weak right now, so that was really. I think Aatrox is more of like a counter pick right now to a lot of the other popular top laners in the LCS right now, which is really weird because Aatrox is not really like considered a strong pick right now.
I was also kind of surprised we saw the few Zoe picks that we did.
Yeah.
I feel like she's not super, super strong in mid lane right now, but people still playing her, so.
Yeah, that definitely, that's something that definitely caught me off guard right now. I think I've seen one Academy game with Diana, with the Ardent Sensor Diana, because that still works in the patch that they're playing on. And I think it still works right now, actually, from what I understand. But yeah, still really cool, really exciting things to see in the LCS. I'm pretty sure I saw a Blitzcrank game as well.
I think so.
Yeah, I think it was Sunday. There's a Blitzcrank game, so I was like, dang! That was really excited to see. You never see Blitzcrank in LCS. Yeah, that's all I have to say about the LCS. So far, it's just the first week, so we have to give it a couple weeks, see where the teams stand after that, flesh out their problems. Maybe Broxa comes to TL after his visa issues are sorted out.
Dude, it's gonna be pretty wild if by the time Worlds comes back around, if like this coronavirus thing isn't squashed, because that's China not competing.
Yeah, and they won last year's championship. I think they've won 2 years in a row now.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Yeah, wild. So we'll have to wait and see. I mean, Worlds is a long ways away. And I don't know where they're hosting Worlds this year. I don't know if they've announced it or not. But next time they host it in North America, I want to go.
Dude, that'd be so fun.
Yeah, I think if they were to host in North America, I think it'd be in Canada. That's just because they've already done it here at the Staples Center in Los Angeles.
Yeah.
If they do it again in Staples Center, I'm going. Like, I am going. If not for the finals, for at least one game.
Right?
Just because I want to see NA compete. Just because it'd be so dope.
Tickets for finals are probably so much.
Yeah, dude. And they'll sell out quick. Super quick. But, yeah. I think that's it. Is it time to end the podcast already?
I believe so.
Yeah. We rambled. We rambled a good amount about the LCS. But that's fine, because there's lots to talk about, especially for the opening week. So, and we had some good stories today. Some good tech news, and we talk a lot about the Atari Hotel. So
yeah,
we talk a lot about the stuff that we're really hyped about. So that's good.
I'm very curious to see, like, how many high-profile people are gonna stay at that hotel when it opens.
Probably a lot of people, because there's lots of high-profile people in Phoenix with lots of money. So we'll see. That's actually kind of funny now that I think about it, because when I was a kid, my parents' summer vacation for us would be to go to Phoenix, rent a hotel for a night, and stay the night at the hotel, and then go up and go to the Phoenix Zoo or go to the mall up in Phoenix. And now it's like I'm hyped about an Atari Hotel in Phoenix that I'm gonna basically do the same thing.
Right.
But yeah, so with that being said, thanks for tuning in, guys, especially for the first pre-recorded episode of the Let's Talk About It podcast. Let us know if you prefer the pre-recorded episodes or if you prefer the live podcasts. The numbers have kind of already told us which ones you guys prefer, but I digress. You can let us know directly. Shoot us a message on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Make sure to follow us on YouTube, on our YouTube channel now. Follow us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, a tin can with a string on it. However it is that you listen to us. We appreciate your continued support, and we will see y'all later.
Adios.
Outro music. Go! If I can press play. And... Alright. There we go. Bye.